Yeah. At you. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Me and the Nicky Pig say hello from lovely, sunny Winona. I hope both of you are well. I have lots of stuff to talk about. I better go somewhere. Gosh, it's so hot in this house. Holy smokes, what does a man have to do? Open all the windows? Jeez. Oh, man. Woo, it's warm. Open the windows up. Oh, yeah. Let's see, what time is it? It's 8:15 at night. Oh, woo! Pull my shirt up. Let some of that breeze in, because I am just smoking warm right now. Lots of humidity, plenty warm. Oh yeah. God loves people who live in Minnesota. All right. Here's what I want to show you. First thing, right here. See that? Warmer than ever. Heat wave shatters 9 records in 11 days. Can you see that here? Let me get it on close up. There we go. Uh-oh. Too close. Can you see that? March 10th, 63, then 66, 69, 75, 71, 81, 83, 82, 74. And that was 2 days ago. 74 degrees 2 days ago. It's going to be 71, 72 today. I tell you guys, for 2 weeks I have worn nothing but shorts and a t-shirt. And that's the great thing about my job. Unlike you 1%ers who have to look respectable when you go to work, I can look like a total dirtbag. And people still come and buy my coffee. That's the beautiful thing about Mudbee. I can't figure out where to go sit. Ooh, let's go sit in the music room. Because, I know you 1%ers will feel more comfortable about that. There's not a chair. Oh, phooey. Hold on. Let me go get a chair. So I am making some video of the bathroom, by the way, where I just was. But I'm not going to show you that until the bathroom's done. I'm going to show you all in one video, show you the progression over the week that he's been working on it. Woo! Okay, here we go. All right. So let's see. Where do I start? I guess I got to start with the weather. Corvallis, ugh, sucks to be you. The 4 inches of snow did you get? Ow! Now I have to tell you, last March, let's see, at the last Nowruz party. Nowruz is New Year, and we hold a Nowruz party every year down at what's called Lake Lodge, which is right on Lake Winona. Nikki, Dan, you've been there. And last Nowruz, there was actually ice still around the edges of the lake. So, big difference this year. Obviously, we've already swam open water this year. We're going to swim again this weekend. In fact, I might even swim without a wetsuit. So we'll see. It might be warm enough. But the truly unusual thing about this year, it all started back really with that first snowfall that we got. And I think you remember seeing that video, right? That was the last open water swim where we broke the ice. That was the day after it snowed big. And then a week and a half later, the snow was completely gone. And then it snowed a few more times, but always melted. And it's been a really unusual winter in that we've had almost no snow cover. And, of course, the issue with no snow cover across this whole region is that there's so much farmland and so much black earth that's absorbing all that passive solar that it really, it has sort of what's it called, like a feedback loop. It's a feedback loop with the climate here all winter long. So we've been warmer than normal. It's not like, oh God, we've gotten 30 days warmer than normal. It's really just that condition of not having that snow cover, that really has created this warmer than normal winter into spring. God dang, the leaves. Maybe we had this many leaves last March. You just don't notice it when you're miserable and cold. But I'm serious. It's every night the windows are wide open. Now, granted, we have, 70 degrees here is significantly more comfortable than 70 degrees, especially in Pendleton. I don't know what the humidity levels tend to be in Corvallis, Nikki. But in Pendleton, but in Winona, we've had it's a decent humidity. I'm not quite sure what it is, 80%, maybe 75%, but it's 70 degrees, 75 degrees, and 75% humidity. And it's been awesome. Now, the only issue is my staff are complaining because I won't turn the air conditioning on. I've got all the windows and doors open, but still around the espresso machine, the coffee brewer, 2 refrigerators, 4 refrigerators, an ice maker, all of that kicks off heat, and it's pretty warm in the shop, but I love it. So, but it's been fantastic. It's been just ideal weather, really completely shorts. I can go out at 5:30 in the morning or 6 in the morning in just my shorts and t-shirt and pretty comfortable, and my Vibrams, of course. Wow. So, Nikki, I'm going to address your video first. So, insulting, you said you love differently. Yeah, you got that about right. That might sum it up. And then you said something about, this fundraiser, so that, your kids didn't have to go to school with a bunch of rich assholes. So, are you saying that really everyone is an asshole? Everyone is an asshole. It's just some of them are rich and some of them are not. Is that what you're saying? So, let's see. You compared the bluffs in that hiking video where Preston and I went up to Eastern Oregon. Yeah, it's like Eastern Oregon except with trees and lots of them and humidity and things growing. But other than that, it's exactly like Eastern Oregon. But seriously though, really when you're talking about like where the Snake River, or even not the Columbia so much, but really more the Snake, and you've got the gorges. We call them bluffs here in bluff country. You call them, what do you call them? What do you call them around? You don't call them bluffs. You call them, what did they call them? Around the Snake. They're called, what are they called, Dan? You tell me. But there's good chucker hunting. I don't know if you've ever hunted chucker, Dan or Nikki, but I highly recommend it. One thing that I would suggest, you touched on bratwurst, which actually made me oddly excited. But here's my suggestion: is when both of you, if you both conspire to come to America's Heartland at the same time, I would suggest doing it in December, and here's why. Because all of us are going to go to a Green Bay Packers game, and we're going to go in December, and you're going to experience the whole Midwest polka bratwurst thing at a Green Bay game. It's nothing. It's nothing like any professional sports venue you've ever been to. In fact, I have a video, Nikki, made, what was that, Dan, 2 years ago that I made about the Green Bay game that Duncan and I went to, maybe 3 years ago? So anyway, it's all about polka. That was the driving theme in that thing. Let's see, riding horses at Dan's house. I also have a riding horses at Dan's house story, Nikki. It would seem that the Haugs are, I don't know if you ever saw the movie Motel Hell with John Ratzenberger from Cheers and a couple of other people. But I think actually the Haugs were kind of running a Motel Hello. That's what the Motel Hell was, right? Motel Hello, except the O was burned out. And I don't know if you, but I think that's what the Haugs were running, because Dan took me out on their beasts from hell, and we went out riding in the swamp, and we were clippity-clopping along, and then what happens? As soon as we turn to go back, that horse takes off. And it literally gallops. I have never been on a horse before at that point in my life. And it gallops all the way back to the swamp, across that, remember that little rickety bridge? Across that rickety bridge and straight back to the barn. Well, I managed to stay on, unlike, I guess, those of you who fall off the back. I think they, I don't know what they were up to, but trying to kill us, I think. Anyway, I actually have great memories. Colleen just today was asking me about, Colleen, was your question about dangerous things I did or stupid things I did or stupid dangerous things I did? What? Oh, stupid things. And actually, many of the stupid things that I came up with, oddly enough, I was with Dan, or I was at Dan's house when I did them. One of the things that we would do is we would, I think, didn't we get this out of a poem? Where you get up into a poplar tree and you leap out into space holding onto the top of it, and hopefully the poplar, bends over and drops you to the ground. And it's like Dan or I can't remember who it was, but one or the other of us ended up the tree snapping. Wasn't that you, Dan? And you landed up on your back in the muckety muck water. And we thought that was hilarious. And I can't remember if I twisted my ankle, but I remember your mom yelling at me because I had a badly sprained ankle from a trip that I had gone on with Tumwater Baptist Church and with Marty Ziesmer. And your mom yelled at me because we were in the backyard, leaping out of trees with a badly sprained ankle. But obviously she has no sense of adventure. Well, she married your father. I take that back. So, anything else in your video other than snow and grief and insults? I don't think so. And yeah, you've got weak stuff. And if you want to bring the high heat, bring the high heat. And I'm going to slap a dinger is what I'm going to do. Okay, so Dan, your videos were. I watched your Blair Witch networking project video today. By the way, have you seen the Blair Witch Project? Nikki, have you seen it? Dan, have you seen it? Actually, it's a lot of this. And so that was the Blair Witch Project. But there's the scene at the very end where the camera has fallen down and it's got a light and somebody's in a dark basement and something's coming for them. And that's what, when you were in the crawl space, it reminded me of. It was the Blair Witch Networking Project, which I thought was excellent. So, the hole saw, that was a mighty hole saw. Here's what you didn't say in the video. How did you end up cutting that hole? Did you find somebody with a drill? Because here's what you need. With a saw that big, you need a half-inch, what's called a half-inch drill. It's got a big half-inch chuck in it, as opposed to the 3/8, which is, or a quarter-inch, which is even worse. But probably 3/8, cordless, but it's got to be a corded. Well, it doesn't have to be. It's got to be a pretty big drill, but it's got to be a half-inch drill, but it also has to have that side, literally it's got a side handle, so you've got your regular drill, but it's got a side handle, and that's how you hold it. Because what happens is when you're drilling with something that big, literally that bit or that hole saw will catch, and it will literally throw you around if you're not braced against the wall and holding it. And it's an easy way to break your arm. Because I almost did it back in Pullman. So it did remind me of the old times, though. The good old days back in Pullman. So minus the rebar. When you were taking your shirt off out back after you had gotten out and you were covered with filth, I also noticed you were covered with dust, too. But you reminded me of Keanu Reeves in The Matrix. When he does this, when he just gets done fighting at the very end with all the Andersons, it goes like this and all the dust comes off of him. That's what you reminded me of. So you are my Neo. So why are you running two cables, Dan? Is it because you're looking for redundancy? So that if one cable, for whatever reason, you've got a break in it, you have another one that you've already pulled? I had read that somewhere or talked to somebody about that who suggested always pulling two cables because when you're buying cable by the thousands of feet, it's cheap, so there's no reason not to pull two. Let's see. I saw that you had snow as well, and all I can say is come on to the Palm Springs of Minnesota because it's wonderful here. Let's see. I now know the reason why you wanted me to come visit for Yamiha, because you wanted me to crawl to the crawl space and run wire with you. That's why. And you kept saying something about waiting for me to drill a hole. Dude, I'm in Minnesota. How am I supposed to drill a hole from Minnesota? So, I can't remember what MDF stood for. What was it? Main Distribution Futs? So anyway, I think you should change the name from MDF to MFDF. I think that would be a more marketable name, and it makes for better copy. So you could even call it the sexy MFDF. So that's my suggestion. And that's what I would name it. I'll make you a plaque and I'll send it to you. How about that? Hey, every time you're making a video, Nikki, I know you've noticed this too, but you've been too kind to say anything to Dan, who's so nice. But the sound sucks when you make it in the music room. And are you using a different camera, or what's the deal? So, because it's really difficult to hear you when you're making it. You think it would be easier, right? Because you have this music room. It's insulated and the sound should be good, but it's not. So, let's see, 1% justification? All I can say is, you know what? Kiss my butt if you don't like 1%ers. That's all I have to say. So, you know, I have one shower stall in my house and it's got cracks all over it. And I work 16 hours a day. And no, I don't get my birthday off like some of you people do. And you know, someday I'm going to have $1 million and I don't care what people think. So there. Oh, Dan, you were talking about you had where were they from? They weren't Iraqi Kurds, but they were, anyway, you had Kurds, which I thought it'd be really confusing for Kurds to live in Minnesota and Wisconsin, because I don't know, I just think that would cause all sorts of confusion. So maybe that's why after she got her PhD or master's at U of M, she moved out west. Because, I don't know, maybe it's like having the name Karu and living in Minnesota. You know, it's sort of an in, so if you're a Kurd, and how can people not love you if you're living in Wisconsin? You know what I mean? So, I think that's all I have. Believe it or not, that's it. I did have one idea. Here's the plan. Here's the business plan, Dan. 8 years hence. How about we create an ecotourism business in which we swim? We have swim tours. We take people on swimming tours. And of course we're going to need a GPS tech guy. We also need somebody who has had feet on the ground in Belize. So, there's my suggestion. It's a business. We create these tours and these trips for people, and we've got everything mapped out of where we're going, what we're doing. We'll probably need some sort of marine biologist on hand so that when we get stung by, the puffer fish or whatever it is, we know how to deal with it. But there's the idea. I think that we could make a few dollars, and we could spend a lot of time in the Caribbean. So that's my suggestion. Nikki, you're welcome to chime in on this. I mean, you got seed money, right? Because you're a 1%er. So fork it over, babe. Anyway, speaking of babe, hold on. That reminds me of... Oh, it's gone. Nikki Pig has ran away. Huh, oh well. Okay, so anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it, and I, of course...
Still Dad.
What?
Still Dad.